So there's a lot of changes happening. With the last eclipse season, it was crazy. There's a lot of things that came to the surface that people were not willing to address or actually truly digest. And I think there's a lot of things that are still being considered in this reflection period where we're all just sorting it out in the best way we can. I am on my own journey at the same time, but I am not able to even consider each and every one going through their own circumstances. So this video is more to bring attention to what are we here to do from these eclipses moving forward. Now, as an astrological point of view, whether you're taking a look at the sidereal or the Western astrology, you can't escape the idea that constellations still stay in their positions regardless of how we want to position them. Whether we want to channel the zodiac signs to be something that fits a season or we want to fit it accurately to the stars, I think we got to look deeper past these kind of like modalities in which we limit these looks, and let's kind of tune into the resonances that are in that sector of the sky rather than try to focus or label it. So as we're progressing through the year, I think we're going to meet up with a number of things. We just came out of a very intense time where I think August is more this month where we're going to try to realign with where we're going. What it is that's important to us, what it is that actually we forgot or we escaped that we were like, wow, we never considered this and we want to do this now. So there's a lot of choices to be made. There's a lot of decisions and actions to be followed through with. I think there's a lot of people that are working hard on a number of things, but what we just went through was a big changing point that birthed about new chapters, or at least closed a lot of doors that are going to open up new opportunities for many. So as we progress more towards September and hit the autumn period, I think many of us are going to understand that there is a degree that exists outside of us that is for our higher self, and if we honor something like that, then I think we're going to be guided to where we're meant to be. Not everything's going to be so simple, not everything is going to be so easy to be like, oh yes, that means that. No, it's just a deeper understanding. The more you're aware of yourself or your environment or the individuals that are partaking in it, then you might be able to actually understand what is being brought forth or what you're going through, what to work with. I think many of us are in positions where we actually are okay to reflect, to understand, are we who we are, or are we playing a role? Are we playing in some sort of story that we either tell ourselves or others tell us so that we get something out of it, or that we feel that security or we feel that fulfillment that we in ourselves should be able to provide ourselves. So if anyone's going through that, I think this period is really about getting clear on what it is that actually matters and getting ourselves best to really realign what it is that's important, what it is that actually matters, what it is that we've been lacking or ignoring, or the things that we need to address or to move forward with and actually follow up on. Some of us are actually going through things where you actually have to put a lot of work in, and that's okay because that work actually means something. If you want to actually create what you want in the world, that means you got to put that investment in. No farmer is ever going to get a good crop yield if he doesn't want to plant a seed. It doesn't work in that manner. So when we're willing to actually be open to this idea, this concept, we're going to move forward with actually progressing who we are. I think going into the next couple years and these past couple years, we've only been more tuning into who we are as an individual level. And many of us are even just open to the concept to embrace that, because I think many are lost to realize how much they're in this like cog of a machine or this illusion that they realize, wow, this concept is not what it is. Once they get a taste of authenticity or what is true, then they're like, wow, this is really not what I thought it was. So many people are really going through this really deconditioning that I find is useful, because there's a lot of conditioning in their realities, especially in Western cultures, because I'll tell you this straight, whether it's a relationship standpoint, a career standpoint, the concept of living standpoint, or the things that are important standpoint, there's a lot of things that people just have out of order, out of whack, and most times you can literally reverse something, and that is more tuned to the truth than what people believe, or at least want to believe. So as I let this car pass by, I return to my message to provide us an insight of where things are heading, where things are going. So as we're creeping into September, this autumn period, I think we're going to lead into a lot of new beginnings, and these new beginnings are going to open us up. I think as we're approaching more towards the October state, that's where big shifting points are going to take us to next step level. That next step level might give us the opportunity, what we need, but we have to go through everything that's in August, everything that's in September to reach that October period. And it's not even short term of the astrology of the matter. This is the concept of the collective resonances, because things take time. There's a period where people used to think that things can just like unravel at a faster pace just because you're aware of what's going to unravel. But there's so many different unique little facets that are involved for everything to unfold. So you can't force a flower to bloom. In the same way, you can't make waking reality be something that it's not meant to be. You can't force it. You can have the illusion of perceive, but that does not change what it is. And I think honoring what is the only way to actually navigate many of the illusions that people are facing in this world. And I think at the end of the day, understanding the true self, or understanding the true nature of our reality, is going to open up a lot of minds, and it's going to open up a lot of awareness to be keen to actually honor and invest in the self, because we've, as a society, depended so much on things coming to us that we lost the merit of actually putting the work and effort in. Now, some of us carry this value, this idea, this virtue, and that's okay, but it's not something that is provided through the experiences in which most people are, I guess, embodying in the collective. So I think there's a big question being asked on, are we providing for ourselves the best for ourselves? And if we're not, what can we do about that? What can we talk about? What can we bring up? What can we do in our power, in our control, to express out into the world how we stand? When we understand and we declare in clarity what it is that is important to us, then we're able to take action in a clear, precise manner. If we're working through individuals, we're able to communicate. If we're working with others that can assist, they'll lend their support. There's a degree in which you put your effort in, and then that support will continue to bring itself up into fruition. So in this coming of months, you want to take this time to really get clear to understand, because if you are able to actually tune in, understand, and get that message, you're going to save yourself a heaping of life lessons, let's call them, that may be coming up through into 2020 and there beyond. Because I'll tell you, on an astrological level, things are not going to get easy for those who are not willing to actually address many of the issues that they've chosen not to in life, because there's a lot of things happening in these past couple of years, whether you want to look at it in an astrological sense, a collective sense, or just a developmental scale, that ourselves, whether we're going through something of Earth through our cosmic reality that's hitting us, that's providing something for ourselves to grow, or if it's just the timing of planets to be all on one side to work together to provide insight or weight towards specific understandings and resonances, or if it's just something that's grander, more beautiful to see on a fractal level, that it's all falling into place. We have to let it, but at the same time too, we don't have to stand in the way of change, of the things that are important, because changes might be fearful for many, but if you're fearing something, that fear in itself must be questioned, no different than the idea of death in itself. There is no limitation, there is only the fearfulness of it, in which case, if you allow yourself to be fearful of things like, for example, death, then are you truly living? Are you actually alive in the moments, or are you too busy escaping your moments to live, to focus on your fear of death? Will that hold you back from living? These deeper questions are something that each individual can only ask themselves. And on the spiritual standpoint, I think that concepts of religions are just a label for people to collectively get together and express goodwill, and this concept of understanding. But when we look at spirituality, this is something that's on an individual perspective on how we perceive our connection to the divine. Whether you want to look at it through universe sake, through the metaphysical sake, through that beyond us, or that does not exist in the physical realm, there's a number of ways in which we can connect. And I think there's a number of tools in which we can connect, whether, like I said, through tarot in previous videos, or through the concept of dreams, or through the simple interactions of the messages that come to us, or the reflections of things that just pop into awareness. We're all able to work with it at our best of ability. So on your journey, be kind, be gentle, and be true. I think we're going to travel through a lot of interesting moments, but where we're going to be on the other end of that is going to be something that we're going to be full embracing of, because it's going to give us something that we didn't understand we had. And I think this understanding of value, this understanding of self, this understanding of what is important, the true nature of our reality, is going to be coming to the forefront. If it's not for those who are willing to pursue it, but then will be by circumstance by those who are not willing to see it just yet. But that doesn't mean that old world view of thinking would be wiped away. No, everyone's going to have their own experience, everyone's going to have their own perspective, but if we want to create a tomorrow, you got to live it today. So be you in your truest of manner. And as you navigate these next couple of weeks, these even couple of months, be honest to who you are and those around you in a very aware state, that you know that what you're doing, who you are, is something that is clear to you, because it will become easy to you. Truth is not something that needs to be guised up and constantly supported. It doesn't need to be propped up into an illusionary state. It just is what it is, regardless of what anybody wants to take it as. So that's important. So I leave this message with you today, and thank you for tuning in. I'll see you again another time. Take it easy and stay true as always.